So this is by far one of the strangest, if not the strangest, Spider-Man comic I've ever read. This is The Amazing Spider-Man, Hooky. Now, this comic is, like I said, one of the strangest things I ever read. And I actually got this on a whim at a convention I was at. And I have to say that, yeah. Now, this is a Marvel graphic novel that came out in the 70s. That was written by Susan K. Putney and artwork by Bernie Wrightson. Hope I'm saying that last name right. While this isn't a bad comic, this is in no way a bad comic of any sorts. It's definitely weird. I will give you that. Now, it's kind of like this was meant to be a Doctor Strange comic, but then they said, nah, let's have Spider-Man go on this adventure. So, if you want to know the story, here's a quick synopsis. Spider-Man encounters a young girl who is known as the Spindrifter. Yeah, the Spindrifter. That's it. Who quintessentially knows who Peter Parker. She knows that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and Spider-Man, wanting to get answers, follows her literally down the almost literally down the rabbit hole, and is brought to her dimension. It turns out that she's a magical being who was supposed to be protecting this world, but is like, nope, I skimped out on my duties. And more or less, she brought Spider-Man to help her fight this thing called the Spindrifter's Bane, which is this horrible-looking creature. You can see on this cover right here, that's not even a full what it looks like. It is literally a thing made of nightmare. It looks like it was made out of your worst nightmares, then your nightmares took a shit, and bukkake the mess. That's what it looks like when it's in its full form. Yeah, sorry for that beautiful illustration I just gave you, but that's the best way I can describe the horrors of what the Spindrifter's Bane looks like. It's a very interesting comic. The artwork by Bernie Wrightson is beautiful. I will admit that this is a beautiful comic. This makes no sense, because Spider-Man's lost in this weird astral dimension, and you see him go through all these different go through these different places, and encounter all these horrific-looking monsters. But on the other hand, they're very well-drawn, horrible-looking monsters. This definitely captures the 70s kind of vibe, and in some cases, it actually kind of looks like the 60s cartoon. Like, not the whole place, because the whole place actually looks like something from the creator, something out of Robert E. Howard's work with Conan. And I think Bernie Wrightson did do Conan for a short time, if I remember right. Anyway, but yeah, the comic is once again very well detailed. But again, Spider-Man at some points looks like like how he's drawn and how he poses in some cases, kind of looks like the 60s cartoon. But that's not to say that's bad. Also, we don't really get to see Aunt May or J. Jonah Jameson. This is just solely a Spider-Man story. And it's always weird to see Spider-Man, it's kind of weird to see Spider-Man out of his element. We all kind of, when we think Spider-Man, we think, superheroing on like a street level, never like this big dimensional monster stuff unless he's with the Avengers. It always seems kind of weird when he's out of his element. It's kind of like when Batman's out of his element and dealing with the supernatural or something to that extent. But then again, I have enjoyed stories like Gothic and several other supernatural Batman stories. With Batman, with Spider-Man, he's always trying to rationalize stuff with science. Peter's a man of science, and Batman is too, but he's willing to, have the benefit of the doubt. Spider-Man is a little more, especially in the 70s, especially now, when the comic came out, he was more like, I can explain this all with science. In here, it's more like, I'm just going to roll with it until you send me back. And that's kind of the big thing, is that we don't really get to see Peter kind of challenge what he's seeing around him. He's just more like kind of rolling with the punches right now. And I would have liked that, especially in some of the places where he's fighting the Spindrifter's Bane. But yeah, all in all, if you can find this comic, because from what I'm told, this is pretty hard to find, but I think it got a reprint in 2012, so maybe you're better off finding it. I found the original copy, like I said, at a convention. And again, this is not a bad comic. It's just weird. It's just really weird to see Spider-Man out of his element like this. It's just really strange. But if you're looking for, like, fun, strange Spider-Man stories, then I would say give this a shot. Anyway, so there you go, guys. That is my review of Spider-Man Hooky. Hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.